Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Josh Impact Insights, your weekly talk show about causes and effects. During the current COVID crisis, a very important statement was made by India's renowned heart surgeon Padma Shri Dr. Devi Shetty that after oxygen shortage is tackled, the next big crisis will be lack of doctors, nurses, and other frontline workers. He has been raising his concerns regarding lack of required manpower in the healthcare sectors for years now. COVID has just shown us the reality. If the health sector alone needs and can create millions of jobs for the skilled and semi-skilled workers, then why is it that high unemployment rate in India remains an unsolved mystery? Moreover, why is it expected that post-COVID unemployment will rise at alarming levels if there is so much demand due to shortage of workers across the sector? Is it because of lack of investment? But then a lot of government, private, corporate, and foreign investment is going directly into education, skill development, and livelihood enhancement projects. Over the last 5 years, out of the CSR funding alone, 34,000 crore of rupees have been spent towards such causes, which is approximately 38% of the total CSR expenditure by the corporate sector in this period. Lots of questions, confusions, isn't it? To find the answers, we have a very special guest with us today, Dr. Anjali Taneja. She is a seasoned policy specialist and economist. She has worked extensively on evidence based research and policy advocacy across interdisciplinary fields. Her research interests are largely in demographic dividend, human capital development, scientific innovation, economic growth, and higher education. Anjali's 14 years of expertise spans multilateral institutions like United National Development Programme, working with the Government of India, and in industry chambers like FICCI and CII, where she has spearheaded several developmental projects in India and overseas. Dr. Taneja has a doctorate in international development from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Her articles and opinion pieces have been published extensively in peer reviewed journals and in the media. So let's get an economist's perspective of the problem and its solution. Hi, Anjali, and welcome to Josh Impact Insights.
Thanks, Tavishi, for this opportunity. India being the center point in South Asia, in terms of the population, in terms of the demographic dividend, there's a lot of potential that India can explore. So my talk would basically comprise of the larger proportion of what India is doing in terms of human capital, what are the challenges that India is facing, and how can we convert these challenges into opportunities for future growth. When we talk about human capital, it basically comprises of the youth of the country. And India per se, when we say that it comprises 17% of the world population, it's like over a billion, it comprises 17% of the world population. The important point to here note is that we have a very good percentage of working age population. And when I talk about working age population, it is basically more in terms of the age group of 15 to 59. That is the age group where we talk about that this is the most productive age group. And in India, this is thriving at the moment, this age group. So when we talk about a middle class, when we talk about a working age, these are the people who can contribute towards a more productive India. On the brighter side, India is an emerging economy. We in terms of the human development, India is far more far more developed. We are considered as a middle income country, and more in terms of middle income, it is basically when we compare with the South Asian economies, India is definitely at a very favorable rank there. It's actually at the top. When we come to other indicators of human development, say for instance, life expectancy, mean years of schooling and expected years of schooling, India has definitely, over a period of time from 1990s to 2019 or 20, it has done a lot of improvements. When we talk about India, in the South Asian sphere, of course, India as per purchasing power parity, it basically comprises of 80% of the regional GDP. But even in Asia, it's the second largest domestic labor market. So which means that the labor force in India is comprises of a lot of working age population, and we need to see how we can develop the skills of this labor force so that they are productively employed. So this is basically a background to where India stands today. More or less, at the moment, we have low and middle skilled workers. So which means that a lot of workers due to COVID have been displaced. If we talk about the formal and the informal sector, so informal sector comprises of a major chunk of the total workforce. They have not been able to, get employed. As a result, if you see, the unemployment has shot up during this period. According to the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, last it was, it has shot up. It used to be always in single digit, but till May 23rd, I guess, it shot up till 14%. And the urban unemployment is quite huge. It's nearly touching 18%. So which means that in India, the workforce, the informal sector workforce needs to be skilled, and they should be productively employed. Another point that I need to mention is basically another starking result that has come out from one of the studies which have been done in 2021, which is basically, if you talk about the employable youth, they have fallen. So they are even less than 50% in the Indian economy as of today, which is like from 47% in 2019, they have fallen to 46% 2020, and from 2020 to 2021, they have fallen to almost 45.9%, which is like they are even less than half of the Indian workforce. So which means that the potential, the skilled people in the economy as such are less than half. So basically, if we look at besides the aggravated skill mismatches, and there is an issue of livelihood securities, if we look at the GDP, even the per capita GDP in current prices as of 2021, that is also, India has significantly dropped in that context also. So which means that all this, because even yesterday the numbers came out of India's GDP growth, which has fallen from by 6.4%, and the IMF World Economic Outlook talks about that a major part of this fall in GDP is because there has been a rise in the unemployment level. We have come a long way ahead, but there's much more that can be done in this sphere. The data as on date shows that the skills gap, at one end we say that India is, the technology in India is competitive compared to the rest of the world, but reports also claim that the skill gaps in the field of artificial intelligence is the highest in India. Whether we talk about data science, whether we talk about AI, whether we talk about natural language processing, the skills gap in these three fields are highest in the country. So here is the potential for India to transform it with the help of development, technical and vocational training, or education in this field. Artificial intelligence can absorb 9% of the workforce, of India's 9% of the workforce in new employments. It can add $1 trillion to the economy by 2035. There's a lot of apprehension when we talk about artificial intelligence these days. It should not be considered a tool to replace the efforts of the human beings, but it should be a significant enabler to complement the efforts and the hard work that human beings are doing in the field of technology. AI should be able to supplement it. India, of course, has this potential to become the skills capital of the world. What we as a nation can do, of course, as I said, India at the national level has been doing a lot of initiatives are coming up, but what more? Because considering that now the challenges are profound because of the COVID-19 pandemic, so what can be done?
Thank you, Anjali, for sharing these key insights. We understand that employability of the available workforce is a major challenge and upgrading of skills is required. What can be done to bridge the gap? So, viewers, if you have any suggestions, reach out to us on the email below. Stay tuned for the upcoming episode next Saturday to hear Anjali's views on creating a sustainable solution for making India skills capital of the world.